Now, we just went through some of the advanced settings for lists and libraries. I'm going to cover a few of the other general settings here that we've not covered, but they don't really deserve their own video, so we'll just kind of cover them very quickly here. The column default value settings option here, that basically just takes you to a screen that shows you all of your columns that have default values. So if you have multiple columns that have default values, it'll show them basically all in one page here, and you can change them really quickly. This is new in 2013. It's not particularly useful in my opinion, but it's there, and I suppose in certain scenarios it could save you a little bit of time. The rating settings is quite useful. This is a bit more. There's a bit more now around the kind of social aspects of SharePoint. You can decide whether you want items in your list to be rated. You press yes, it allows you which type, whether it's using the likes or the star ratings. So if you press OK, what you'll see is now when you go to an individual item, I'll go back to my documents library, it now creates a new field called ratings, and users can apply their ratings, and it also tells you how many people have rated this particular document, which is quite useful. If you change it to likes, just go back in and do this. Change it over to likes. Press OK. You'll see that it's changed this column here. Rather than ratings, it's called likes, and you can mark whether or not you like the document. And this all rolls up into the kind of social features of SharePoint, your news feed, your My Site page, all of these kinds of things, which we've not got to yet. But just within the context of this list, it's particularly useful because you can see which documents are popular. The final setting that we're going to cover here quickly is around audience targeting. Now, when you click on it, you just have the choice of setting audience targeting or not setting audience targeting. Basically, what our audience targeting is, you press OK, and you go and you look at any of your particular items, and go to edit the properties. You should have a new column here now. That's about targeting audiences. Now, what this really means is, if you set a particular target audience, the audience that you set will be able to see this item, and people that are not in the target audience won't be able to see the item. Now, this is not a replacement for item security. If people have the address to the particular document or whatever, they'll still be able to modify it if they have the permissions, or view it if they have the permissions. But this is really just around making things friendlier and easier, and surfacing the right information to the right audiences. So, you may have a list of documents and they're all in this library, but only salespeople, there's only documents that are only really relevant to them. So you don't want salespeople coming to this particular library and seeing all the other documents that aren't relevant to them. So what you would then do is you would then just browse, and you would have a sales group, for example, um, as part of your SharePoint groups, or you could create a global audience. It's not actually a SharePoint group, it's not a security group. It's just an audience that you create, but your administrator would have to set this up. You can't set this up through your normal SharePoint interface. That's for the administrator to do. So that's quite a useful tool. But again, to remember, it's not a replacement for item security. It's simply just for displaying the correct information to the correct people.